Muy buena gente, aquí José, capítulo 2 de The Other Wars. Vamos a seguir aquí con la aventura. Tenemos que buscar al líder del pueblo. Nos manda allí el indicador y vamos a ver. Parece que ya hemos terminado el tutorial, que nos dejan ir un poco a nuestra bola. Vamos a seguir, mira, aquí hay uno. No parece que se le vea muy amistoso. Te quiere... A ver. Oh, que me ha visto. Mierda. Ahí va. Calmante. A ver. Me ha visto. ¡Hala! ¡A la saca! Venga. Oh, aquí está el pueblo. Qué vistas.
Whoa, hey. Don't go ambling out in those hills. That's marauder territory, friend. Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls. And low prices. Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family. Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. What's your racket? You a smuggler? Freelancer?
Bueno,
I'll be around if you change your mind.
luego seguimos con la charla, que nos podemos tirar aquí toda la mañana. Vamos para adelante. A ver. Un pueblecito. A ver, la fábrica de conservas. Aquí. Para arriba.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me.
The cans bust open in the oven because she's set to cook saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Let's start over. Walk me through the process. Show me where it's going awry.
Well, sure. It's, mostly on account of what we're feeding into the mechanism.
It puts food in cans. We have food, we have cans. Why won't it work like we need?
She's expecting saltuna of a certain size. We're filling the cans with, well, not fish.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. You were saying, Miss Holcomb.
It's just what Bess needs is a proper refurbish. I can bandage her up and what all, but she's just old. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'll do better.
And I do wish you'd stop referring to our cannery as Bess. Personification of company property is strictly contrary to the Spacer's Choice Code of Conduct. My apologies. I am not in the habit of allowing my guests to witness such a row. Now, what can I do for you? I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform. Yes, so it dawns on me. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way. I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there. No, I do not imagine they will be pleased. But like a parent disciplining an unruly child, you will be doing them a kindness. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. Good law, no, I don't want you killing anyone, least of all them. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented, and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Sí, claro. Pues
Great.
venga conmigo.
I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am
Claro.
glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Y todas sus habilidades. Aumenta la capacidad de carga. O sea,
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
sí, venga, vamos a dar un
Hey, mister, can we
paseíto.
talk? Sorry.
Que habla conmigo.
Can we talk?
Sí, podemos hablar.
Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale. To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left. Life's hard here, especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
Pues vamos a
Thanks,
verle.
mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
A ver. Por aquí. ¿O no? No. A ver. Personaje, inventario diario. A ver. A ver. Nos hemos dejado aquí a alguien.
Sorry, I'll just be a minute.
Bueno, a ver.
I've always felt weird in here. It's too
Aquí.
clean.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max, if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar DeSoto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling, this season's tossball predictions, the quickest way out of town.
But what? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do? Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk. Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold. Not if things are left to stand as they are. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume. One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book. It's a handwritten journal, a faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious? Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Vamos. A ver. Venga. Diario. Aquí. Bueno. Vamos a... Vamos a poner manual. Vamos a hacer la misión secundaria. Esto parece un cementerio. A ver. Allí. Joder. A ver. No, no tiene nada. Nada. Este sí tiene cosillas. Este también. Para saca. Este también.
Eyes up!
Oh, ya. Toma ya. Madre mía, menudo bicho. Me reventa la cara. Toma ya. Y otro. Toma ya.
Got 'em all.
Buah, la maza esta es la hostia. Fusil de asalto. Mira. Toda la cara que le ha arrancado. A ver. Inventario. Este aquí. A ver. Este. Guay. Vamos a probar este, a ver qué tal. A ver quién es el siguiente. No, aquí no es. A ver. ¿De dónde es esto? Aquí. Genial. Pues hemos subido de nivel. A ver qué cosillas hay por aquí. ¡Wow! Aquí hay de todo. Pildas. Esto para aquí. Vale. Talentos. Pues... Este... A subir cuerpo a cuerpo. Un poquito. Armas a distancia. Y ahí está. Vamos a seguir a ver. A ver si nos encontramos ahí cositas por aquí. Anda, mira. Un F5. Vamos a guardar por si acaso. ¡Hola! Ahí. Vamos a ver. Mierda, casi. Otra mina. Qué rico. Aquí.
Oh, wow.
Pa' la saca. Y ahora hay que volver. Bueno, antes de volver... Sí, hay que volver. Antes de volver vamos a hacer la misión principal y luego ya las entregamos todas juntas. A ver. Ahí está. Vamos. Hostia. corre que me matan. Hostia. Corre, 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 corre. Bueno, nuestra primera muerte. Vaya. Toda la cabeza.
That's the last of them.
A ver. Guay. Mira, una babosa gigante. ¿Qué es esto? ¡Buah! Como una serpiente. Aquí ya hemos estado antes. ¿O no? Creo que sí, hemos estado aquí antes. Sí. Vamos al jardín botánico.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble.
Venga, vamos a charlar.
I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along. Armed strangers wandering into my camp for one. Some of my camp wandering out for another. Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those. A geo what? Look, plants ain't my purview. You're better off asking after Adelaide. If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you. over in the hothouse, tending crop. Enough with the questions. No offense, but I've got a lot on my mind.
Muy bien.
Much obliged.
A ver. Venga.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear? I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned. A home for anyone who's ever turned their backs on Edgewater. A home for those of us with nowhere left to go and nothing to lose. So, like the spores of the puffball, cast on the wind and alighting on fresh soil, we put down new roots. It is an unpleasant story, dear. The short of it is that sometimes one wakes up and realizes the place that was once her home for much of her life has changed. The home in which we spent our lives has left us behind, and so we must move on. And that is as much as I will say on the subject. No, dear. The garden belongs to us all. Life is the gift of the universe, and the universe yields its bounty equally, absent of prejudice. The soil around the Vale went sour years ago, but I found a way to sweeten it back up. The secret recipe is a little bit of elbow grease, a dash of love, and a heaping pile of special fertilizer. Reed Thompson, you here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then?
A ver.
Make amends. Spare me. Only thing Reed knows how to make is a mess. Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves. He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans? Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do. You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring their lives away at the cannery, living off whatever scrap Spacer's choice throws them. You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family to the company, and still she defends them. Life in Edgewater grinds to a halt. The cannery shuts down, workers desert in droves, and our own little camp grows and thrives. I trust you will listen to your conscience.
Bueno, gente, lo vamos a dejar aquí por hoy. Y el próximo día seguimos con la aventura. A ver cómo terminamos esta misión. Venga, hasta luego, gente.